Evening, Mr. Vining, members of the board, Superintendent Pugh, ladies and gentlemen of the audience. I'm Simone Jones, a third grader in a traditional classroom at Evanport Elementary. I am honored to represent Evanport Elementary and bring greetings from my principal, Rhonda Kelsey, and our faculty and staff. Please stand with me at this time and remain standing for the moment of silence and then for the Pledge of Allegiance. Now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's now my pleasure to tell you about my experience at Evanport Elementary. At Evanport, we spend lots of time reading. I even read to Kara, a dog who visits our school. She's much bigger than my dog, Monroe, a peekapoo. We also have lots of time for math, but it's not my favorite subject. I am really excited about getting a laptop at school to help me with my work. PE is my favorite special. I like to go to PE to play the games. My favorite thing about school is that we have ice cream every Friday. Thank you for inviting me to represent Evanport Elementary School.
Ms. Jones is joined today with our mom, Ashley Reese, and her dad, Joshua Reese, and her brother, Joshua Jr. And they're there. And her principal's here, Miss Kelsey, and I'm sure there's probably some other Davenport folks here as well. And before we turn you loose, are there any comments or questions? Ms. Miller.
So, Simone, it says here that you love to read. What are your favorite books?
I like to read Ben and Me and I Survive books.
Oh, those are good. Those are good. Well, you did a really good job today. You should be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
I am very pleased to see you. I was wondering though, you were walking so slowly. Were you thinking about what you were going to say? Or why were you walking so slow?
I was scared.
I thought that might have been a part of it, but now you know it was all right, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can tell. Thank you for being here. You did a good job.
You been trying to interpret for you, Ms. Davis? We have someone who's had a difficult time speaking tonight.
I think you'll be able to hear me, Simone. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now that you're in third grade, what is different about third and second grade?
Well, we do harder stuff and we do projects. And in first and second, we didn't get iPads to take home or laptops.
So you enjoying third grade better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you for coming.
Ms. Cole.
Simone, it was a pleasure meeting you earlier and talking with you. You did an excellent job. I'm really proud of you. So, you think you'll like having a computer to use better than an iPad?
Mm-hmm.
Do you use a computer at home or at school? Sometimes in the computer lab?
We don't use the computer lab much.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here today. We appreciate it.
Terry.
Ms. Call said you did a very nice job, very elegant. And I'm with you. Friday would be my best day if we had ice cream.
Great job, Simone.
Thank you. The local news media was notified in writing of the agenda on Friday, January the 19th. I now entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Elena Miller, second by, is it you, Mildred? Jane Sharp. Well, I heard a voice. I wasn't sure where it came from. That's the best Mildred has sounded in a long time. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0 without any changes. Next up is recognitions with Dr. Pugh.
Thank you, Mr. Vining, for joining me tonight to celebrate some very special teachers and students. Our first is Tammy Terry. If Tammy will come forward. The Palmetto Reading Council's Distinguished Teacher of Literacy is Castle Heights Middle School teacher, Miss Tammy Terry. Principal John Carell has said, her impact on our literacy program is undeniable. Her hard work as an interventionist, coach, and colleague are greatly appreciated. She would be the first to say that individual awards are rarely earned solely by the individual whose name appears on the plaque. This is a recognition for our school and the efforts you have all made across all content areas to improve the instruction our students receive. I thank you all. Ms. Terry will now go to the Skyra Conference next month to represent the Palmetto Council in Castle Heights Middle School at the state level. Congratulations, Ms. Terry. We are proud of you. And Ms. Cynthia Robinson is here representing Castle Heights tonight, so we are so glad that you are here. We know that you are also very proud of Ms. Terry.
Yes, we are.
Thank you very much. I do not think that our next guest is here, but we're going to go ahead and recognize him and then recognize him again because I think the mayor actually has him tonight, maybe. Mayor Geddes. Straight Heron was named the U.S. Army National Coach of the Year. South Point Straight Heron was named the U.S. Army National Coach of the Year earlier this month while at the Army All-American Awards ceremony in San Antonio, Texas. Coach Heron led South Point to the school's 6th state title and 5th in his 7 years at the program's helm. The Stallions won all 15 games they played, beating powerhouse programs from North Carolina and Georgia. Heron served as the East Squad's defensive coordinator for the Army All-American game. And we congratulate Coach Heron, and we hope that he'll be here next month for us to officially recognize him. Earlier this month, 3 South Point High School students participated in the U.S. Army All-American game in San Antonio, Texas. South Point Band of Thunder member Matthew Benford, and we know Matthew's here, so come on up, Matthew, joined 125 elite musicians from across the country as a member of the U.S. Army All-American Marching Band. Members of the band are selected for participation by the National Association for Music Education and Drum Corps International. We also want to ask Mr. James Turner, who's trying to take a picture, if he'll come on up because he also attended with Matthew, and I believe that you were able to help instruct and direct. Is that correct?
No, I was selected as one of 40 band directors for the clinic.
One of 40 for the clinic, so congratulations to you as well. We're proud of both of you. In addition to that, we had student athletes Darion Kendrick and B.T. Potter who played in the game. Potter connected on a 32-yard field goal, and Kendrick had a 38 all-purpose yards. Both Kendrick and Potter have committed to play for Clemson University. All three students participated in the week-long event and received guidance and instruction from top clinicians and coaches leading up to the game played on January the 6th before a nationally televised audience. Congratulations to both of you, Matthew, and to Mr. Turner. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Miss Erica Knox. Rock Hill High School attendance clerk Erica Knox is being recognized this evening as a finalist for the NEA, National Education Association's Support Employee of the Year as the nominee from the South Carolina Education Association. The final award will be announced in March, while Ms. Knox is attending the National Education Association National Conference. And we wish you, Ms. Knox, much luck as you go, and we are very proud that you're representing Rock Hill High, Rock Hill School District, and South Carolina. Congratulations. And her proud principal, Mr. Ozzie All, is also here supporting her tonight. This time I'd like to ask Amanda Haskin, and maybe even Miss Alice Davis. Do you want to come forward too? Do you have something you want to say first? Come on up. We'd be glad for you to. Is she going to show something? Yes, you go right ahead.
My name is Alice Davis. I am the current president of the Rock Hill Schools Education Foundation, and before I introduce Amanda, I want to tell you a little bit about the foundation and give you an update on what we've done this past year. Back to Pack is probably one of the things that y'all have all heard of the most. We, this past year, have fed over 700 kids during the school year. A couple weeks ago, several of you, along with some foundation board members, were there, and we packed bags. Also some community members and some donors were there also. This cost $52,000 a year to put this on for these 700 kids. And this past year, Walmart has given us $42,000 grant for the next 3 years to be able to make these packs of food more nutritious. Rick Lee, a foundation board member, really helped to make this a huge success, along with Serena Williams. And luckily, Smooth Move donates their time and resources to pick up and deliver the bags to all the schools every Friday, saving us thousands of dollars a year on this program. We also funded 61 grants, totaling $51,000 this year. Our educator grants, as always, show why we have the best teachers around. They are so innovative with their ideas and the things they want to do over and beyond in the classroom. Here's a few of the highlights. An Oakdale kindergarten class turned into teachers. They got a grant to raise a butterfly garden, release them, and then they taught the 4-year-olds from St. John's about the butterfly cycle. I believe a few of y'all were there to witness this. It was a really neat time. Old Point Elementary School wrote a grant for a Ninja Warrior Challenge. It provides funding for equipment for a school-wide gymnastics program based on American Ninja Warrior. The goal of the project is to promote living an active and healthy lifestyle through activities that teach body movement, strength, balance, and athletic movement. Students engage in various Ninja Warrior-style obstacles to build and improve body management, strength, flexibility, balance, coordination, and problem-solving skills. This past year, NFL players Jonathan Joseph and Jadavian Clowney gave $20,000 combined to 100 deserving students who were identified by Student Services to receive a surprise shopping spree for themselves, while the parents got to hear from LaToya out loud. Very emotional and hilarious. Everything from TVs, video games, Pop-Tarts, baby dolls. I love to have high school football players with these baskets of pink and baby dolls. It was great. Mo saw burritos again this year, and that money went to help the foundation, and it was around $2,000 this year. That's a lot of burritos for $1 a burrito. It's wonderful when community partners support us and are aware of the foundations too. Nishi G's also opened their doors to us on Giving Tuesday and gave us a portion of their proceeds. At the Spring Student Celebration, we celebrated a child from each school that's overcome hardships, has a tough time learning or another situation, and is still making progress in school. They're beating the odds against them, and they're flying high. This celebration happens in the spring, and we're excited to do it again in this spring. I hope you'll all be able to attend and hear the stories that pull at all of our hearts. A beloved member of our grant committee and a past foundation board member for over 10 years, Miss Peggy Fern, died this year. As a part of her wishes, her brother reached out to us and had an endowment, a $10,000 endowment set up with us for a grant to be awarded every year. We will do this in her honor. We also have endowment funds set up from the Jimmy Matthews, the late Jimmy Matthews, and also from the Watson Family Foundation. They will be awarded next month on Grant Patrol, so it's one you won't want to miss. We'll send you that date as soon as we have it. Our donors are what made all this possible. We have many local businesses that believe in us and support us each year. Last year, Williams & Fudge was our presenting sponsor for 2017. We also had Comporium, Coke, Founders Federal Credit Union, local State Farm, H. Allen Payton, and our annual gala that's going to be held again on March 8th, so mark your calendars. Most of you have already committed to here, and we really appreciate y'all's continued support, along with Foundation Board, who also gives 100%. So thank you all individually very much. So you can see the Education Foundation has done some amazing things to help kids this year. And our best thing is while we're here tonight, Amanda Haskin is our new executive director. Amanda started in November, but she's settled in so quick, we feel it's been years already. The foundation has not had their own employee other than our district liaison. And after 30 years, we thought it's time. We want to grow and expand our impact that we have on kids and grow our foundation. She's very qualified for the job, and we're blessed to have her on board. She has an undergraduate degree in communications and public relations and a master's in arts and teaching. As a stay-at-home mom of 3 for the past 14 years, she's been very involved with PTO, SIC, and church youth programs. I've heard she's even run a VBS, and if you've ever done that, you know you're qualified for this job. She's also been a substitute, so she knows the classroom very well and how to organize. We are beyond blessed to have her. So help me welcome Amanda Haskin to the Education Foundation.
Thank you guys very much for having me here tonight. I just want to, to the board, I just want to say that my doors are always open. We look forward to increasing the visibility and the awareness of the foundation in the Rock Hill community, and we look forward to there's more opportunity for and at this time we'd like to open the floor for board members or community members to ask any questions of me or of Alice about the foundation and what we're doing this year.
Well, I don't really have a question as much as I just want to say thank you. Because Alice and the rest of the board members are all volunteers. They do this because they love the children in our district, and there is a lot of work that goes into it. I know that because I'm a past board member. Jokes aside, thank you for all that you do. It's much needed and it's much appreciated, and I'm so excited to see you on board, Amanda. It's going to be phenomenal, and let me know if I can ever do anything to help you out.
Thank you.
And I wanted to say, I've never done back-to-back before, but I don't want to miss it again. It was such fun. I mean, it was kind of like a competition at times, but my spirit got into it, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you for including me.
Absolutely.
We'll have to do that again next year.
Yes, yes.
Community volunteers are always welcome at our back-to-back events as well. They're once a month, and it is a lot of fun, and it's a great team-building activity for groups as well.
I'd like to also say thank you for the work that you do, and the children that have benefited from your volunteerism and from the fact that you have continually given out of your personal wealth all the food and the food that you have gotten other people to donate. It's really, 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 really appreciated by us all. Not just the children that you serve every day, but the community is a better community because of you. So thank you for all the work that you do.
It's a good district to support.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. And just to echo what our board has said, we thank you for all of the work that you do, our community for being supportive, but then the board for making sure that we are able to feed kids on the weekend, that we are able to support teacher grants. That's so important. Our spring opportunity for students who have shown great improvement. We're in a unique community to have this type of support. So thank you on behalf of all of our folks who are impacted. Thank you very much. At this time, Mr. Vining, you're here with me, but we're going to recognize you for 20 years of service. School Board Chairman Jim Vining is recognized this evening for his 20 years of service to the Rock Hill School Board of Trustees. Scott Price, the Executive Director of the South Carolina School Boards Association, says, on behalf of the officers and staff of the South Carolina School Board Association, thank you. You have played a critical role in guiding your district and have invested countless hours to improve public education. And on behalf of the school district, I thank you, because it's not easy being a board member. There's more than just coming to the meetings. There's lots of preparation, and being board chairman is not an easy task either. So thank you for all of your support of the almost 18,000 children in Rock Hill School District. Thank you very much. I asked him if he wanted another 20 years, and he laughed at me. Certificate and a 20-year fee. You want to switch places? Gotcha. Yeah, why don't you look here?
January is the School Board Appreciation Month, and the YCEA is getting ready to come up and say something, and all these years I've been on the board, I always feel guilty because what we do is insignificant to what's done by the educators in the classroom. And then Alice and Amanda were just up here. Helena mentioned it, the work of the volunteers and improving of the school and the community is an awesome task. It is what makes our district. It's not necessarily the board. The best thing the board can do is try to get out of the way. And let the people who do the things do what they do best. And it's always, it is the shining example of our district, of our educators, our parent volunteers, our community volunteers. It's what makes the district. And unfortunately, sometimes the school board gets credit for that, and it really is always, like I said, it always embarrasses me for that. Now, as part of this, the School Board Association has it asked for me to read this statement of what the principles, basically, of being a school board member is or should be. And so I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to sign this document, and then each board member will sign it. As members of the Board of Rock Hill Schools, we pledge our efforts to improve public education in our community and will solemnly try to represent the interests of the entire district when making decisions and to rely on available facts and our judgment rather than on individuals or special interest groups. Understand the proper role of the board to set policies governing the district and to hire the chief administrative officer to carry out these policies. Encourage an open exchange of ideas by all board members during the decision-making process. Seek regular communications between the board and students, staff, and all segments of the community. Attend all board meetings to study issues facing the board and to enact policies and official actions only after full discussion at such meetings. Work with other board members in a conscientious and courteous manner befitting the public trust placed in the position of school board trustee. Communicate concerns and public reaction to board policies and school programs to the superintendent and other board members in a professional manner. Support employment of the persons best qualified for staff positions and to ensure a regular and impartial evaluation of all staff. Avoid conflicts of interest and to refrain from using our board positions for personal or partisan gain. Encourage recognition of the achievements of students and staff and of the involvement of community residents. Support legislation and funding which will improve the educational opportunities and environment for students and staff. Take no individual action which will compromise the integrity of the board or administration, and to respect the confidentiality of information that is privileged under the Freedom of Information Act. Study current educational issues and to participate in training programs such as those offered through the South Carolina School Boards Association and the National School Boards Association, and make our decisions the best possible to achieve and to love learning. This is for January 2018. I will sign it and then we'll give it to the other board members. And before I walk away from the podium, I want to again say, on behalf of the board, we are extremely thankful and appreciative of the work our educators do, of the support of the parents and the community. It takes every element to make us a good school district, and it has to be done every day, and it's just ongoing. And we are really appreciative of this community and the support. And so I now will pass this on.
And at this time, we have a presentation from the York County Education Association.
I'm Judy O'Neill. Simone, are you still here? If you are, you really set the standard high. I was asked by Sherry this morning to do this presentation. Everything was fine until Simone got up here and did such a great job. Oh my God. Erica, we do want to say to you how proud we are. The YCEA is so proud of you for your award that you're representing us with and going on further, and we expect you to go all the way. And I want to say good evening and thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this meeting tonight. I'm Judy O'Neill, a math teacher of 42 years of experience. At the end of this year, I will complete my career having taught the last 11 years here in Rock Hill. Don't cry, for heaven's sake. At Phoenix Academy. It's been a privilege for me to be here and see the support. Gosh, the support that our wonderful board gives us, and how willing you are to listen. Even when I called you on almost Christmas Eve to complain about something, to ask for your help, you were there. As a representative of the SCEA, where I serve on the executive board, and as a representative of our local YCEA, it is my honor to present you, the board, and Dr. Pugh with this token of appreciation. January, as you mentioned, is National School Board Appreciation. And may the gift represent the light that each of us in education shares to make our children, state, and country stronger. I would like to read to the audience here, since you can't see it. Of course, this is an apple-flavored candle to represent education, and it says, in recognition of School Board Appreciation Month, when you light this candle, let it symbolize how each tiny flame, united together, helps brighten the future of our children. May this candle's warm reflection be a reminder of the importance of working together and what it means to educators, parents, and to the students. We thank you so much for everything that you do for us. Thank you very much. say something else, Sherry threatened me. We would like to offer an invitation to any of you that are not members of the National Education Association to join us, board members, administrators, faculty. It's very important. I have plenty of references I could give you, but I know that if you'll allow me just to make one quick statement here. My daughter-in-law is a teacher in Tennessee. She was in one school district and was a member of the Tennessee Association. She moved to another school district thinking that it was still being, I don't know why, but thinking it was still being drawn out of her check. And it wasn't, and she had an incident. I knew Sherry. Sherry knew the vice president in Tennessee. The vice president contacted the local person. They were with my daughter-in-law within hours to support her and to be in on any conference or any meetings that she had. Luckily, everything turned out, and they didn't have to do any litigation, but it was a wonderful experience, and I've had several like that. So I just want to contact us, and we'll let you have information about it.
We have no citizen participation tonight. Next up is consent action agenda, which includes the minutes of the November 13th work session, including the data session, the November 27th business meeting, the December 11th business meeting, approval of personnel recommendations, and approval of the fund years 2016-17 audit report, which we heard the presentation at the work session, and it was the most favorable audit report we've had in 20 years. So that can tell you the good works that's going on in the district. So on behalf of the board, we're really appreciative of the administration. And I'll now approve the consent agenda. I will move by Terry Hutchison. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Ann Reed. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. Next up is our action agenda item. We have a list of first read policies. It takes 2 votes to approve a policy, a new policy or a change, which involves discussion at a work session, business meeting, work session, business meeting. And so this has already been, these policies have been discussed at a work session in, this month. And there are a list of G policies for first read. And I will go through those. If anybody wants to take those out separately, we will. If not, I'd like to take all these G policies in one motion. First one is policy GCI, professional staff development. Next one is policy GDF, support staff hiring. Next one is GCE/GCF and the administrative rules, professional staff recruitment and hiring. The next 3 are deletions for policies, but that most of that information is going to be found in another policy, and those deletions are GCF, an administrative rule, GCE, an administrative rule, and GBEBDA, and that would be professional staff recruitment, professional staff hiring, and criminal records checks. And then the last G policy is separate. We're going to do separately, or at least group them together. So what we have is policy GCI, GDF, GCE/GCF, administrative rules, and deletion of GCE, GCF, and GBEBDA, and administrative rules. Nobody has requested them to come out. I'll take a motion to approve those and together. Moved by Terry Hutchinson. Is there a second? Second by Ann Reed. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. Next up, unless there's an objection, I'd like to take these 2 policies together. because they deal with the same subject matter, and it's policy KHE, political solicitations in schools, policy GBI, staff participation in political activities. All right, I entertain a motion to approve those two policies.
Second.
Moved by Terry Hutchinson, seconded by Helena Miller. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. Next up, we have a list of policies for second read. Second read means they've already been passed board approval, which in this case would have been in the November business meeting. And they're all we're covered together. I will read the policies. If someone would like to take one out and address separately, we will. First one is policy GBGD, workers' compensation. The next one is GBJ, personnel records and files. The next one is GBK, administrative rule and the form, staff concerns, complaints, grievances. And GCA, professional staff positions. All right, I entertain a motion to take these policies in one motion. It's been moved by Wendy Cole. Is there a second? Second by Jane Sharp. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. These now stand as district policies. Next up, we have a mid-year increase in bus driver salary schedule. It makes us a little bit more competitive, but we're still probably not where the board would like it to be, but where the budget will allow us to be, I guess is the way to say that. And I'll entertain a motion to approve this salary scale adjustment.
Second.
Moved by Terry Hutchinson, second by Helena Miller. Any discussion?
Just a quick comment. I'm glad that we are, or I'm glad to support this. I wish that we were fully funded from the state to where we can implement all of the salary adjustments that we need to do to remain competitive. And that's something that we collectively have to work towards. Our bus drivers have a very difficult job. And hopefully this will help them out a little bit.
Anybody else? All right, all those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. Next up is approval of the 2018-19 school calendar, the calendar A that was discussed at the work session. I'll entertain a motion to, I'm gonna let you make some general comments, but I entertain a motion to approve. Moved by Mildred Douglas and second by Wendy Cole. All right, now, Mr. Frost, who is the facilitator of the calendar, would you give us an overview of what you think is important?
At this point, the calendar as presented at our work session has not changed. We've sought approval for draft A, with teachers returning on August 9th and 10th for the required professional development conference. As a reminder, that will be different from what we have done the last several years, in which we've had what amounted to an optional day in July, that if you did not attend in July, you had to attend an exchange day within the school year. That has been eliminated, so that is the purpose of the 9th and 10th of August. Teachers would then work the Monday through Thursday, with teachers not expected to be in their classrooms on Thursday, August 17th as a rest day before students return on Monday, August 20th. We have achieved a local goal to have students have the ability to finish exams prior to Christmas break, and that is reflected on the calendar with an 85-day first semester. Students then returning in January with a completion the first week in June. One other local consideration that's been important through this calendar process is to be able to provide a dedicated day within the calendar following each grading period. The teachers would have the ability, unencumbered time in their classroom, to complete grades and enter grades into the various systems. There was question in our last presentation related to the confusion of the day of August 17th. That Friday, which is nothing, that day had to be pulled out to achieve what I just mentioned related to having a day following each grading period. That I was asked last time to check back with our calendar committee about that scenario, and they again supported and encouraged us to move forward with draft day untouched. And they were presented the option to change it following the presentation 2 weeks ago, and they supported not changing it. So that's why I'm here before you tonight asking for approval of draft day.
Any questions, comments from the board? Jane. Go ahead, Jane.
I believe I'm correct that the teachers were supportive of not having the split days in the summer.
That's correct.
Teachers involved were pleased with that change.
Correct.
Okay, maybe the others too, but correct.
Ms. Miller.
I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to the calendar committee. This is not an easy task. It's probably one of the most controversial and most difficult collaborations that we do on a yearly basis between the other neighboring districts. So for all the volunteers that have served on the calendar committee, thank you, because there's so many restrictions between start dates and test dates and holidays that there really aren't that much flexibility, and trying to please everybody is probably impossible. So just thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Ms. Reed.
I would like to ask a question, and it has to do with the fact that we have just recently celebrated our first winter graduation. I'm wondering if you have, I didn't see it in this calendar. Are you going to add it?
That event will continue. It is not added at this time on that calendar. It will be added when dates are confirmed. I know your voice is struggling, Ms. Douglas, and you're going to ask me about report card dates. They will be added once those dates are confirmed as well.
Thank you. I was just so pleased to see the graduates and the pleased too to see that they were so proud, and that's the beginning of something that will be continued throughout.
And certainly.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? All those in favor of the proposed calendar, signify by raising your hand. We have an approved calendar for next school year. Approval of Administrative Rule KA-R Stakeholder Input Guidelines. Entertain. Dr. Pugh has pointed out there was a revision to that rule from what was discussed in the work session. It comes in the first bullet, and the sentence was added. It said appropriate means include email, automated telephone calls, district website, the district's mobile app, and other social media. Just looks like it's a clarification. Entertain a motion to approve. Moved by Helena Miller, seconded by Jane Sharp. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. It's now approved as a new administrative rule. We have no communications. Next up is report of the superintendent.
We are excited to announce the opening schedule for our newest school, the Ebenezer Avenue Elementary School Traditional Montessori Inquiry, on February the 20th. To assist our students, staff, and families transitioning to the new building, we will host the following events. On February the 12th, we will have a private school board tour followed by a teacher-only tour. On February the 13th, we will have an open house for our parents from 4 to 6 p.m. On February the 14th, our current students at the children's school will tour the facility. And on February the 15th and 16th, our teachers will be at the children's school setting up classrooms. With winter weather impacting our community last week, we would like to remind our families of our pre-scheduled makeup days. To clarify for our community, the following days will be made up. Friday, February the 16th is a makeup day for September the 11th, Hurricane Irma. Monday, February the 19th is a makeup day for January the 17th. Friday, March the 30th is a makeup day for January the 18th, 2018. We have one additional day that we were out. We will be bringing that to our school board for their consideration and waiving that day during the month of February. The school board will next meet on February the 12th when it has a data session and a work session. Please note that all board meetings through at least February of 2018 will be held here at Rollinson Road Middle School's auditorium. Meetings will continue to be streamed on our website and available for viewing on demand immediately following each broadcast. We look forward to hosting community visits this Friday, January the 26th, at Old Point Elementary School and Northwestern High School, where visitors will have an opportunity to tour each school, talk with students, and hear from school administrators about programs and services available for students. We will begin at Old Point at 8:30 a.m. and then move to Northwestern High School at 10:15. Visitors are invited to join us for lunch at Northwestern High School following the school tour. For years, we have visited schools and districts as a member of the League of Innovative Schools, and it is with great excitement that we announce that more than 100 superintendents and district leaders from across the country will be in our school district on April the 26th and April the 27th. We look forward to this tremendous opportunity to showcase the incredible work happening in our schools. The Build on the Rock website has been updated with photos. You are encouraged to visit the district's Capitol Building Program Build on the Rock website at www.rock-hill.k12.sc.us/Build on the Rock for more information. This website provides status updates on active and planned construction projects in the district. On the page, viewers can see project descriptions, before and after photographs, and construction timelines. And that concludes our announcements for tonight. Yes, ma'am, Dr. Sharp.
One question. The school board tour, is that at 4?
It is at 3.
Okay.
3 to 4, and then teachers will come in at 4 o'clock for a tour following the board. That's a great question. 3 o'clock for our board.
Okay.
Douglas has mentioned the School of Choice Fair.
It is this Thursday night at Transformation Center beginning at 6 o'clock, correct? Dr. Holmes, I don't have that in front of me. Yes, 6 o'clock.
And I would encourage every parent who's curious, interested, maybe even thinks they already know, to go and find out what all the choice options. And we probably are unusual. We have more choice than most public schools, and so it's something we want to educate everybody on what's available. And I echo Dr. Pugh's comment. Encourage everybody to go and see what's available. Review of the school board work session from January 8th held at the Ross Road Middle School. We had a monthly data session. We held an executive session for legal advice on policies KHE and GBI. We discussed policies KHE and GBI. We received the 2016-17 financial audit and procurement report. We discussed 2 sets of Section G policies. We received a construction update. We discussed a board self-evaluation. We was notified of the upcoming charter school panel at Winthrop, which is tomorrow night, Tuesday at 6:30 at the Richardson Ballroom. We heard a presentation from Indy Hook's School Improvement Council. We received a proposed revised bus driver salary schedule. We discussed the proposed 2018-19 school year calendar. We received a request from the South Point High School School Improvement Council regarding STEAM choice. We discussed the proposed stakeholder input guidelines rule. We received an update on the Comporium cell tower. We received an update on pilot student drug testing program. We were reminded of upcoming winter graduation date and the back-to-back board volunteer date. And we discussed other and future business. On other and future business, Tucker Peter, we're still looking for an executive meeting on Friday.
We are.
And so it's been suggested that after our school visits, that we have a short executive session for personnel issue. And I guess I've heard from several, but I'm interested in how many people will be available for that meeting. Or I would rephrase it, anybody who would not be available for the meeting.
What time will the meeting be? It'll be immediately following our tour at Northwestern prior to lunch.
All right, now, would you like to call in, Dr. Sharp?
I want to talk to Dr. P first.
Okay. So but we'll accommodate that. So we'll schedule that, and you want to say noon? We'll say 11:30 or 11:45.
Probably 11:45.
11:45 executive meeting for a personnel issue. And of course, we got school visits this Friday. That's Old Point and Northwestern High School. I've already mentioned the charter school discussion tomorrow at 6:30. Does anybody have any items for future business with the board? Ms. Miller?
No, but I do have a question. Because of the snow day on Friday the 19th, we were supposed to have school visits at Oakdale and Saluda Trail Middle School. Are we going to reschedule those, or is there a plan going forward on that?
They will be rescheduled.
Okay.
Anything else?
Do you mind if I just emphasize, I said it in my announcement, but I know there's been questions for parents. We do have 3 makeup days during the calendar that we just mentioned, February the 16th, February the 19th, and March the 30th. And those are now regular school days. Unfortunately, we have now had our 4th snow day. We are now allowed by the state that our Board of Trustees can waive 3 snow days after we make up 3. If we have additional ones after that, the state board can waive up to 3 days. So at our February work session, we will bring that to you for discussion with a request at the February board meeting for you to waive the 4th day. So we have had questions about, is it going to impact spring break? Is it going to impact the end of the year? But at this point, we will be asking the board to waive it. If the board did not waive that, then we would look at a day to make that up. But we will be bringing that to you in February.
Just to make it easy, is there any way for us to update the actual calendar that sits on the district website and on the app so that when you access it, it now shows our inclement weather days as regular school days? Because people may forget as they get closer and just look.
It's already reflected.
Oh, it does? Okay, great. I haven't looked evidently, so, you know, that's not bad.
And we have encouraged our principals to just, in their communications, just to remind families.
Perfect.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session
So moved.
for personnel matters and contractual matters. Been moved by Helena Miller, seconded by Mildred Douglas. We do expect to be taking a vote on the personnel matter and on a contractual matter involving the land use agreement, Comporium, and a cell tower at Mount Gallant Elementary School. Oh, and another, all right. So we get, I guess there'll be 3 votes coming out. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. We're going to stay in here. All right, yeah, we're doing this street. So we will leave to go to executive session. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn executive session and enter open session. Moved by Wendy Cole, second by Jane Sharp. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. Are there any motions to come out of executive session?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Miller.
I move that we accept the administration's recommendation for the Director of Purchasing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Terry Hutchinson. Discussion. Those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. Are there any other motions coming out?
I move that we accept the administration's recommendation to release 2 administrators from their contract at their requested date.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Terry Hutchison. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. Are there any other motions? All right, Terry.
This one's a little bit lengthy. Make a motion that we approve the administration's request to approve a land use agreement and authorize the superintendent to approve as property owner any subsequent applications made by Comporium to local, state, and federal agencies having jurisdiction over the construction and operation of the proposed cellular communication service facility. Also, the board authorizes the superintendent to seek any county approvals that may be required.
Is there a second?
I second.
Who seconded it? Ann Reed seconded. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. Any other motions?
Yes.
Wendy.
I make a motion that we approve the proposed amendment to our real estate contract with CNC Property Holdings, LLC, for the sale of our property at 945 North Anderson Road, parcel number 4070103, to provide that in the event CNC Property Holdings does not seek approval for or elects not to proceed with the development of age-restricted multifamily housing on the property, they shall submit an application to the City of Rock Hill for rezoning of the property to CZ Community Commercial, and Rock Hill Schools shall execute the necessary application in support of rezoning.
Is there a second?
Second.
Jane Sharp has made second. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Ms. Miller has made the motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Ann Reed. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your hand. Terry, all right, motion carries 7-0.
I would hope so.